Too many interesting facts in 1 hour? Subscribe to Zarpado, we're already starting. A Russian jeweler named Miyago managed to sculpt a tiny coccyx out of a grain of rice. The painstaking work took 3 days under a microscope, and the details are impressive due to the patience and precision required to avoid breaking the piece. A man in Wales decided to set up his office on a cliff, taking advantage of the fact that he answers calls for sports brands and doesn't need a physical location. The views from that cliff are truly breathtaking. A Russian YouTuber named Lamb welded 3,000 nails to the front wheels of his car for an experiment. The vehicle was able to drive perfectly until the pressure bent the nails, demonstrating the strength of this unusual modification. Julia Claire, a German artist, carved a wooden heart in exquisite detail using chisels and red paint. Her work, which took several days, shows a realistic model of this vital organ that seems almost alive. Jamie Keaton has suffered from a rare condition that causes objects to stick to his skin since he was 7 years old. His skin absorbs more oxygen than other people's, and only 3 people in the world exhibit this unique phenomenon. Turkish illustrator Yasi Yolkusu uses forks and knives to create calligraphy. His works, published online, show how unconventional tools can become surprising artistic instruments. Spaniard Paul Guerrero masters complicated acrobatics by jumping on a rubber ball that propels him to spin repeatedly in the air. Very few people in the world can pull off such impressive stunts. A 93-year-old man excels at playing racing video games. His passion stems from his entire family being taxi drivers, and he now enjoys simulators like Project Car 2, driving classic cars, including a Mazda Savannah RX-7. Norme Sari Sirigar, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, trains sugar gliders to jump toward her when called. Since 2013, he has been caring for 20 of these animals, which use a membrane called pantau to glide. A Russian YouTuber named Mikhail Litvin strapped himself to a helicopter with packing tape and soared several feet above Moscow. The maneuver was insane and led to the helicopter being seized and the pilot's license suspended. Muhammad Hamid from Pujat, Pakistan, created a giant ball out of 1,000,000 matches. The work took 8 days and was activated with a lighter, capturing spectacular images that he later shared on his YouTube channel. British tattoo artist Daniel Scott designed works on skateboards during the pandemic. His project allowed him to continue creating art while his studio was closed due to health restrictions. Tejo, a French DJ, performed a techno session at over 10,000 feet above sea level in the Swiss Alps. Despite his fear of heights, he didn't let the cold or vertigo stop his musical performance. Octopuses use objects from the seabed as camouflage, including coconut wicks. This ability to use tools in their environment makes them one of the most intelligent species in the ocean. Comfort Town, a neighborhood on the outskirts of Kyiv, Ukraine, stands out for its vibrant colors. With 180 buildings and 8,500 apartments, it forms an architectural rainbow unique in the world. The climbing gourami fish can live out of water for up to 6 days, thanks to a special organ called the labyrinth organ, which allows it to breathe air instead of water, a rare adaptation in fish. A group of salmon was captured swimming in circles off Waijingu Beach in Australia. The scene was recorded by a drone, and these schools moved together to protect each other from predators. Chinese ping pong masters demonstrate amazing skills by throwing 2 balls at the same time, colliding them in the air, and using unusual objects as paddles, from books to stuffed animals. Caring for pandas is an intense job that requires feeding and grooming the animals for 12 hours a day. These adorable mammals become attached to their keepers, who work year-round with no vacation time. A young man attempted to use the exhaust pipe of his Lamborghini to make a meat skewer. The adventure ended with a blown engine, and the repair cost him nearly $80,000, much more than his culinary experiment. Turkish artist Ger creates art using the water marbling technique known as Ebru. He applies ink to the surface and, After shaping it with soft brushstrokes, transfers the design to paper to create unique works. Goblin sharks have free-moving jaws, capable of stretching several inches to catch prey. They live at depths of over 4,600 feet, so they are rarely observed. The Titanic sinking scenes were filmed with safety as a priority. The water used was almost swimming pool temperature, and the extras fell into a 5-foot tank to prevent accidents. Putting a chicken to sleep can be achieved by placing its head under a wing and gently rocking its body. This trick was performed by Lane Travers, a 23-year-old American, who demonstrated how this method works. Ku marzu cheese, considered a delicacy in some regions, contains worms that live inside and give it a unique flavor. It is banned in several places because it can be dangerous if not prepared properly. To scare away a tiger shark, it is recommended to maintain eye contact and use an outstretched arm to gently press the animal's head. This technique must be done carefully to avoid provoking the shark. Elephants can also suffer from dwarfism. A 5-foot-tall Asian elephant exemplifies this phenomenon, which is more common among animals than is often thought. In Japan, an annual contest called the K-Truck Garden Contest is held, where participants transform empty trucks into miniature gardens filled with decorations, lights, and aquariums. In space, the lack of gravity makes it easier for astronauts to relax and sleep. They float in special capsules to prevent them from sliding around the spacecraft while they rest. The Titanoboa was the largest snake that ever existed, reaching up to 50 feet in length. It lived in what is now Colombia 60 million years ago and was probably poisonous and very aggressive. Seahorses are one of the few animals where the male gives birth. They can have up to 100 young per birth, but only some survive to adulthood. On the space station, wringing out a towel causes water to pool around the cloth without falling, demonstrating how different physics is in zero gravity compared to Earth. The prop pilot chair, robotic chair, created by Nissan, moves and stops on its own to make waiting in lines easier. It is equipped with cameras and sensors that detect when to move forward or stop. Applying 100 coats of nail polish would take about 12 hours, and the result would be a strange mountain of colors on each nail. This challenge is popular among nail artists on social media. The black heron uses its wings like an umbrella to catch fish. By creating shade, it deceives its prey, which seeks shelter underneath, and it easily captures them thanks to this ingenious method. Square watermelons are created by placing the fruit in glass or metal containers while they grow. This increasingly common technique also allows for other unusual shapes. An experimental gene therapy helped a man with vision problems regain some of his sight using nerve cells and special glasses. The improvements were maintained for up to 5 months after treatment. The Brazilian region of Rio Grande do Sul is home to many famous supermodels. It is believed that there exists an ideal genetic mix there that attracts talent scouts due to its combined European and Brazilian features. In France, a man named Clément Morel lands a position at a luxury restaurant using only artificial intelligence for his resume and letters of recommendation. He successfully passes virtual interviews, demonstrating the growing influence of AI in hiring processes. In South Korea, a company is developing a robot firefighter capable of withstanding extreme temperatures and entering high-risk areas without endangering human lives. This breakthrough sparks debate about the future of rescue operations. In Japan, a bullet train reaches speeds of over 375 miles per hour in testing, setting a new record and bringing ultra-fast travel even closer. The technology promises to connect cities in record time. In Australia, scientists are successfully growing heat-resistant coral to combat the destruction of the Great Barrier Reef. This method seeks to preserve marine ecosystems threatened by climate change. In the United States, a young man creates low-cost custom prosthetics using 3D printers for children with disabilities, transforming lives with accessible and innovative solutions. In Norway, the world's longest floating tunnel is being installed, designed to withstand storms and giant waves, allowing for safe maritime transport in dangerous waters. In Mexico, archaeologists discover an underground passageway beneath the Kukulkan Pyramid, revealing secrets of the Mayan civilization and offering clues about unknown rituals. In Switzerland, a startup is developing a smartwatch capable of measuring blood glucose levels without needing to prick blood, a crucial advance for people with diabetes. In Egypt, restorers are using laser technology to restore color to ancient temple reliefs, showing how they originally looked thousands of years ago. In Canada, a fully automated vertical farming system is being created, capable of producing vegetables year-round regardless of the weather, optimizing the use of space and resources. An acoustic experiment attempts to break a glass cup with sound alone. A horn, a frequency generator, and a strobe light are used to observe how it vibrates. When a precise frequency, around 556 Hz, is reached, the glass can break. The Sea Breacher is a semi-submersible jet ski with a design inspired by dolphins and sharks. Created by Rob Innes and Dan Piazza, founders of Innespace Productions in New Zealand, it can jump, spin, and partially submerge like a marine animal. A car's steering wheel shouldn't turn on its own. Since it's connected to the steering system, if it does so uncontrollably, it could indicate a mechanical or electronic failure that requires immediate attention to avoid accidents. In rural areas of France, baguette vending machines operate 24 hours a day. They store pre-baked bread in cold storage and finish baking it before delivering it, always offering warm, crispy bread. The wolf spider, a member of the Lycosidae family, is famous for its maternal instinct. The female carries an egg sac in her abdomen, and when hatched, the young climb onto her back until they molt for the first time. It is found in Europe, America, Asia, and Africa. A decorative trend creates cloudy skies indoors using synthetic filler and LED light strips on the ceiling. Some systems simulate lightning and even synchronize the effect with sound to generate realistic storms. In Japan, hydraulic presses are used to process scrap cars. Under enormous pressure, they convert vehicles into compact cubes, making them easier to transport and subsequently recycle in industrial plants. The infinite dodecahedron is a 12-sided lamp that uses LED lights and mirrors to create the illusion of endless space. Its hypnotic effect is achieved through multiple reflections within. Tug-of-war, also known as rope tug, is a strength sport where two teams compete by pulling a rope. It was part of the Olympic Games between 1,900 and 1,920, and international championships are still held. Knickers, a Holstein bull, lives in Western Australia. He is almost 6.5 feet tall and weighs nearly 3,100 pounds. He became famous for far exceeding the average size of a common bull. Some fish form a whirlpool by swimming in a spiral. This group movement can confuse predators or promote reproduction, and is observed both in aquariums and in the sea. Pure water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit under normal pressure. If impurities or pressure fluctuations are present, the freezing point changes. Brittle ice, formed by rapid cooling, supports little weight and breaks easily. In Japan, a seagull was filmed landing on another seagull in mid-flight. This act, although rare, has nothing to do with courtship or mating. It is simply atypical behavior within the species. Did you know that in North Korea, citizens must hand over their droppings to the government to use as fertilizer? Each resident must meet an annual quota set by the authorities. In the Karak district of Pakistan, there's an ingenious but dangerous way to transport cooking gas. Locals extract natural gas with a hose and store it in huge plastic bags, a technique known as bag gas. This material uses a set of lenses to deflect light around it. If you stand behind it, you're virtually invisible to anyone looking straight at you. At 70 years old, Chow Smith celebrated his birthday by running 7 marathons on 7 continents in just 7 days. His feat, accomplished between January 25 and 31, 2017 included Australia, Singapore, Egypt, the Netherlands, New York, Chile, and Antarctica. The world's largest restaurant is in Chongqing, China, and is called Pipa Yuan. Occupying the entire side of a mountain, it has 900 tables and space for 6,000 people. If you stand at the top, it takes up to 30 minutes to get there from the parking lot. Sometimes, it's almost impossible to get a table. In Changsha, China, there's a store where every product is gigantic: chips, cookies, noodles, and much more. Thousands of people visit it daily to try these curious and unique snacks. In 2015, Microsoft created the world's quietest room. The silence is so extreme that you can hear your heart, bones, lungs, and even your blood flowing. The record stay is 4 hours and 22 minutes, as staying there for too long can drive anyone crazy. Flip is a unique boat that can be placed vertically by sinking its stern and leaving its bow floating. This makes it an extremely stable research platform in the open sea. The Neutrino Power Cube is a device capable of generating electricity without sun, water, or wind. It captures invisible radiation and transforms it into enough energy for a family of 4 or 5. The British company Tenfold Engineering created a foldable house that transforms from a cube into a home in a matter of minutes. It can be easily installed anywhere in the world. Some McDonald's restaurants in China have replaced their seats with stationary bicycles. Pedaling at 12 miles per hour burns 300 calories in half an hour, the equivalent of 5 minutes for each McNugget. A complete combo of hamburger, fries, and soda would require an hour and a half without stopping. In the 1970s, Sony and Philips created the CD, 4.5 inches in diameter and 60 minutes of music. Sony's president asked to expand it to include Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which lasts 74 minutes. In Japan, there is a restaurant staffed by people with varying degrees of memory loss. 37% of the time, they write down your order incorrectly, so you never know what you're going to get. The Kola well in Russia is the deepest hole dug by man, reaching 40,230 feet. Recordings from inside are disturbing to many. A monk in India plants rice on his head to improve its growth. He sleeps sitting up and knows when to water by feeling his dry skin. When the rice ripens, he harvests it, eats it, and replants it. In Taiwan, some smart traffic lights include screens that rotate to show you the right direction to go. Japan has developed a drug that will regrow lost teeth. It is expected to be available for human use in 2030. La Tomatina in Buñol, Spain, brings together thousands of people who throw ripe tomatoes at each other in a friendly battle in the streets. A South Korean company created artificial intelligence so people can make video calls with deceased relatives. AI recreates them digitally using photos and videos to enable a virtual conversation. Google Images was born thanks to the famous dress Jennifer Lopez wore at the 2000 Grammy Awards. The huge number of searches motivated the creation of the image search function. In Japan, public restrooms have transparent walls to check if they are clean or occupied. When locked, a special coating makes them opaque to ensure privacy. At the 1912 Olympic Games, a Japanese marathon runner abandoned the race and returned to his country without warning. He was considered missing in Sweden for 50 years. In 1966, he finished the race, clocking a time of 54 years, 8 months, and 6 days. A cane with red and white stripes indicates that the person has vision and hearing problems. At a Beatty FC game, fans threw 19,000 stuffed animals onto the field. All were donated so that no homeless child would be left without a Christmas present. The pasta brand Barilla has playlists on Spotify with the exact cooking times for al dente. The Sinclair C5 was an electric vehicle that was born before its time. Introduced to the public in early 1985, it was a one-person electric tricycle powered by a 12-volt lead-acid battery that gave it a range of just over 20 miles. In space, astronauts cannot cry normally. Due to the lack of gravity, tears don't fall, but rather accumulate in the eyes and can form liquid bubbles that float. This is not only uncomfortable, but can also impair vision. One of the most creative ads showed how cars entering a tunnel appeared to be sucked into a giant vacuum cleaner. This visual effect gave the impression that the tunnel was part of the device itself, thus achieving a very striking advertising impact. Drink cans can harbor many bacteria on their surfaces. Even after cleaning them with clothing, a napkin, or alcohol-based hand sanitizer, potentially harmful microorganisms remain. In Colombia, Sim Tuba is known as the Devil Man for his extreme appearance, piercings, tattoos, and even 2 horns implanted in his forehead. His goal is to resemble the traditional devil as closely as possible. The most expensive object on the planet is not a yacht or a mansion, but the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. This extremely complex particle accelerator costs billions of dollars and is used to investigate the fundamental mysteries of the universe. Carom is a billiards-like finger game that is very popular in India. The objective is to place all the pieces of one color into the holes on the board before your opponent. Omar Barati, an Indian man, has been raising his right arm for over 50 years. Since 1973, he decided to never lower it again as an act of penance and peaceful protest against war. Over time, his bones and cartilage petrified, making it irreversible. In Malaga, Spain, there are rotating houses called Sun House 360. Designed to face the sun, they absorb solar energy that they use at night, saving up to 70% on energy consumption. The Crespin bird has a peculiar dance that combines jumps and spins to attract a mate or defend its territory. This curious behavior has been recorded and disseminated for its originality. One of the most ingenious donation campaigns was an interactive poster with a card reader. When passed, an animation of bread being cut and shared with a family in need appeared, generating a strong visual impact. Most polar bears are left-handed, meaning they use their left paw more for hunting and handling objects. This curious fact has been observed in studies of animal behavior in their natural habitat. In Brazil, scientists produce mosquitoes infected with a bacteria that blocks the transmission of viruses such as dengue fever and Zika. The goal is to release 5 billion over 10 years to reduce these diseases. In Japan, manhole covers are painted with unique artistic designs depending on the city. These motifs range from landscapes to local characters, becoming small works of street art. Osmium is the densest and rarest material on the planet. To obtain a small amount, more than 200 tons of rock must be extracted. There is an artificial intelligence beauty pageant where all the contestants are computer-created models. No real people participate, setting a precedent for virtual pageants. The tornado omelet is a typical South Korean dish. It consists of an omelet that, when cooked, rolls into a spiral, creating a colorful and attractive presentation. The Karlstrat vessel can clean the seabed in seconds. It uses a pressurized capsule to dry the seabed and allow workers to walk on it. Although it may seem like a peaceful job, it involves extreme pressure and temperature conditions. Did you know that peacock feathers are actually brown? Their microscopic structure scatters light in a way that creates an iridescent blue and green effect. This optical phenomenon is what makes them appear such vibrant colors, even though they aren't. This is what a rain cloud looks like from the inside. A skydiver, equipped with a camera, passed through a cloud, showing how it fills with condensation droplets. Eventually, it appears on the other side, as if it had crossed a curtain of water suspended in the sky. The cordyceps fungus is famous for infecting ants and controlling their nervous system. Once infected, the ant leaves its colony and climbs to a specific spot where it clings to a leaf or branch. There, the fungus grows and releases spores to infect more nearby ants. In ancient Rome, when someone had to tell the truth in a trial, they didn't swear on the Bible as they do today. Instead, they would squeeze their testicles with their right hand as a symbol of sincerity. The word witness comes from this peculiar custom. In Amsterdam, there are bicycle parking lots that transform pedaling energy into electricity for streets and homes. This is possible thanks to generators on the wheels that store the energy in batteries. It is an alternative to solar panels on historic buildings. Until now, the only sport practiced outside of Earth has been golf. In 1971, American astronaut Alan Shepard played on the lunar surface, becoming the first and only interplanetary golfer. In Portugal, there is the Das Mares swimming pool, designed by architect Álvaro Siza. Its oceanfront location creates a spectacular contrast between the clear water and the dark ocean. It is considered a national monument and World Heritage Site by UNESCO and is an icon of contemporary architecture. In a corner of China, the Yuanyang terraces spread over 300 acres of rice fields. Locals shaped the mountainous terrain for centuries, creating a landscape that changes colors with the seasons. A masterpiece of agricultural engineering and natural beauty. The Crockett House Bar Restaurant, built in 1765, features a tilted structure due to the collapse of its foundations. The unevenness, caused by mining, creates curious optical illusions inside, where walls and objects appear to twist. In Egypt, a group of professional divers decided to play underwater poker in the Gulf of Aqaba. Using sturdy cards and controlling their oxygen tanks, they demonstrated that even a board game can become an underwater experience. Ghanaian chef Pipula Atuo is famous for sculpting lifelike figures in margarine. At 55 years old and with a career in prestigious European restaurants, his works are exhibited at culinary events for their level of detail and artistic precision. The frozen waves photographed by surfer Jonathan Ford are a phenomenon that requires temperatures below 28 degrees Fahrenheit, low salinity, and gentle waves. The result is a natural spectacle where the sea seems frozen in time. In Sweden, there's the Utter Inn Hotel, a floating cabin with one room submerged beneath Lake Mälaren. Without conventional electricity, but with heating and drinking water, it offers complete isolation, 1,640 feet from any neighbors. The Great Blue Hole in Belize is 410 feet deep and is home to unique reefs. It is one of the most coveted destinations for divers and scientists, as well as home to several species of sharks. The spiny turtle, native to mountainous areas, grows to 9 inches and has a pointed shell that changes color with age. It camouflages itself with dried leaves, although it is threatened by illegal trade and habitat loss. Pantone 448C is considered the ugliest color in the world, a mix of dark brown and greenish gray. Studies show it provokes feelings of dirtiness, which is why several governments use it on cigarette packaging to discourage consumption. The Myco-estnidae marmoset primate, endemic to Brazil, measures less than 20 inches and has lead-gray fur. Its name honors Professor Horacio Estnidae, a biodiversity expert. Deforestation puts it at serious risk of extinction. New York-based artist Jasmine uses yeast to create living works. She manipulates the growth of bacteria to form patterns that can last up to 6 months, requiring a precise and controlled process. The Van Allen belts are radiation zones formed by solar particles trapped by the Earth's magnetosphere. They protect the atmosphere but can damage satellites if not properly shielded. In Birmingham, the Rot Smokehouse restaurant serves the world's largest pizza with a diameter of almost 4 feet. Their portions are baked separately due to their enormous size. Keratoprosthetics replace diseased corneas with artificial versions, giving the eyes a robotic appearance. This advancement helps people who cannot receive natural transplants and have severe damage. In Indonesia, Abdullah Shah raises a Bengal tiger that consumes 22 pounds of meat a day. He adopted it when it was just 3 months old and keeps it as a pet, despite the risks and extreme care it requires. The Nitronic ST730T robot strips cables with millimeter precision and high speed. It only needs data on the thickness and cutting lengths to be entered to complete the job automatically. In Australia, Tabata Andrade tattooed the KFC logo on her mouth after negotiating with her parents, who allowed her to only use something very important to her. She chose her favorite restaurant without a second thought. Canadian makeup artist Mimi Choi creates optical illusions by painting fast food on faces. Her techniques integrate facial features into the design, achieving results so realistic they resemble digital filters. The female elephant Charisma lives in a London zoo and is famous for her painting. With 100 zero muscles and a finger in her trunk to hold brushes, she creates live works while her keepers guide her through pigments. The color of a hen's earlobes predicts the color of her eggs. If they are red, they will be brown. If they are white, they will be white. This method is used in agriculture to classify poultry production. Artist Giovanni Contardi uses Rubik's Cubes to create portraits of celebrities such as Will Smith or Robert Downey Jr. Each work can require up to 6,000 pieces and 6 months of work. The Korowai people, native to a remote region of Indonesia, live in elevated dwellings that reach up to 150 feet above the ground. They build these structures among the treetops to remain safe from predators, pests, floods, and supernatural entities. This strategic height also gives them a privileged view of potential threats. Luba is a 1-month-old woolly mammoth calf discovered in the Siberian permafrost in 2007. This prehistoric creature inhabited the Earth approximately 42,000 years ago. Her body was incredibly intact, even preserving traces of milk in her stomach. Thanks to the eternal ice, her tissues and organs were preserved in great detail. Today, she is part of an exhibit at a scientific institution in Russia. The EHang 216 is an autonomous, electrically powered aerial vehicle designed for short or inter-city journeys. It has space for 2 occupants, can soar to 9,800 feet, and reaches speeds of 80 miles per hour. Its range allows it to cover approximately 22 miles in just over 20 minutes. It runs on rechargeable batteries that require 2 hours for a full charge. The World Wood Sports Camp in the Alps is a competition where lumberjacks compete in speed and precision using saws, axes, and chainsaws. Each round is scored, and the winner is the one with the most points. The Bowery is a famous well in India, built in 800 AD. Its architecture resembles a temple, is about 66 feet deep, and its walls are designed to collect more water during the rains. John Rich managed to sneak into Super Bowl 35 without paying, thanks to his friendship with players and bar owners. He never faced legal penalties despite his repeated infiltration of games. A group of doctors discovered that rinsing your mouth after brushing your teeth reduces the effect of fluoride, as water partially eliminates it. Therefore, they recommend spitting out toothpaste but not rinsing to maximize its protection. A machine built by Daniel DeBring has 100 connected gears that rotate at different speeds, making it extremely slow. Each gear must rotate 10 times for the next to rotate once, which makes it unique. In Chile's Atacama Desert, there are areas where no rain has fallen for more than 4 centuries, making it one of the driest places on the planet. The octopus has 3 hearts, and its blood is blue due to the presence of hemocyanin, a copper-rich protein. Bees can recognize human faces, using a mental process similar to the one humans use to identify familiar faces. In Iceland, there are no traditional surnames. Instead, patronymics are used, indicating the father's or mother's name followed by son or daughter. The Great Wall of China is not visible from the moon with the naked eye, contrary to the popular myth that has circulated for decades. Space, if you shout, no one hears you. It's not just a dramatic phrase. Sound needs a medium like air to propagate, and in the vacuum of space, there's simply nothing to transmit it. In Japan, there is an island inhabited almost exclusively by cats. It's called Aoshima, and felines outnumber humans by more than 6 to 1. It's known as Cat Island. The Vatican has a library so secret that its archives have sections that only the Pope or scholars with special permission can access. It houses documents more than 12 centuries old. Turtles can breathe through their rear ends, technically through their cloaca. This method allows them to absorb oxygen while underwater during winter hibernations. In France, Napoleon Bonaparte was attacked by rabbits. He organized a hunt, but the servants released domesticated rabbits that, instead of fleeing, surrounded him, believing he was bringing them food. Octopuses have 3 hearts. 2 pump blood to the gills, and the third to the rest of the body. Interestingly, this third heart stops when they swim, which quickly exhausts them. In Bolivia, there is a desert that looks like a giant mirror. It's called the Salar de Uyuni, and when it rains, the thin layer of water reflects the sky so perfectly that the horizon disappears. Flamingos aren't born pink. Their color comes from the carotenoids they consume when feeding on algae and crustaceans. Without this diet, they would be white or gray. In ancient Rome, urine was a valuable commodity. It was used as a detergent for washing clothes and even for whitening teeth. A tax was even levied on its public collection. Plants also communicate. Some emit chemicals to alert others of a threat, such as a pest. It's a surprisingly effective form of plant warning. In Iceland, there are no traditional surnames. Instead, they use the father's or mother's name followed by son or daughter. For example, if your father is John, you could be Johnson or John's daughter. Bombardier beetles can expel a scalding chemical jet from their abdomens as a defense. This mixture reaches temperatures of up to 212.9, a mini natural chemical explosion. Humans share about 98% of their DNA with chimpanzees, but we also share about 60% with bananas. Genetics never ceases to amaze. The Colosseum in Rome had a system of pulleys, trapdoors, and underground tunnels that allowed wild animals to be pulled from the ground, like ancient special effects. In South Korea, the number 4 is considered unlucky, so much so that in many buildings the 4th floor is marked F to avoid that number. This is due to its similarity to the word death. In Australia, there are more kangaroos than people. It is estimated that there are more than 50 million kangaroos compared to a human population of just over 27 million. Ants can survive inside a microwave. Their bodies are so small that electromagnetic fields often don't affect them directly unless they are in the center of the plate. In the 17th century, a British doctor proposed treating headaches by implanting a piece of a dead person's skull. Trepanation was seen as an almost magical remedy. In China, there is a glass bridge that makes even the bravest dizzy. It is located in Zhangjiajie and spans a canyon more than 984 feet deep. Goats can have regional accents. A study in England showed that the bleats of goats raised in different regions sound different, a rarity in the animal world. A man was found dead on the coast of Somerton, Australia, wearing an elegant suit but without documents. Among his belongings was a piece of paper with the phrase "Tamam Shud," Persian for finished. They also found a book with cryptic codes. To this day, no one has been able to decipher his identity or the cause of his death. Elephants not only remember, they also feel tenderness. Research shows that their brains react the same way humans do when they see babies. They feel empathy, compassion, and affection for other species. They are as large on the outside as they are sensitive on the inside. The brain weighs little but demands a lot. It barely represents 2% of the body but consumes about 20% of its energy. Keeping it active requires constant fuel, good food, better memory. A scent can break time. The Proust phenomenon explains how certain smells trigger forgotten memories. The sense of smell connects directly with the amygdala and hippocampus, without logical filters. A perfume or the smell of wet earth can open doors to the past. The organ that interprets pain doesn't feel it. The brain lacks receptors called nociceptors. Patients undergoing brain surgery can converse awake without any pain. The suffering center is immune to suffering. Looking at patterns with tiny holes can cause immediate discomfort. This reaction is called trypophobia. Honeycombs, seeds, or sponges can provoke involuntary repulsion, perhaps a primitive evolutionary protective mechanism. The tongue, a versatile and powerful muscle. It detects sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami flavors. It also guides food, mixes with saliva, and articulates words. Small but essential in everyday life. A car controlled with PlayStation. Sony and Honda created an electric vehicle called a Fila. Its steering wheel can be replaced with a PS5 controller. It includes sensors for autonomous driving and a surround display. Raynaud's syndrome freezes the fingers. Cold or stress causes spasms in arteries, reducing blood flow. The fingers turn white or blue due to lack of oxygen. When the episode passes, they regain color and mobility. Tomorrowland is more than electronic music. Every year, Boom in Belgium becomes another planet. Colossal stages, fireworks, and legendary DJs. A sensory experience that borders on fantasy. In New Zealand, a fence is covered in bras. It's called Bradrona and began as a joke. Today it attracts thousands of visitors who leave bras as offerings, a curious symbol of solidarity and memory. Some cultures claim that plants have consciousness. They speak between roots, warn of danger, and share nutrients. Studies support this idea with real-life examples. The forest, a collective brain covered in leaves. Lucid dreams are parallel lives. There you can decide to fly, change the plot, or live without limits. Some people train to dream at will. Others claim to have healed real wounds within them. Sunlight takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. What you see now left the sun exactly 8 minutes ago. Reality is slightly delayed, even during the day, a lag that reminds us how relative perception is. In Rome, lead was part of everyday cooking. Utensils, cups, and even wine contained this metal. Some historians believe it caused madness in emperors, a tasty but poisonous legacy of the empire. Fibonacci, the hidden code of nature. The sequence 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 appears in flowers, snails, and galaxies. Even in your body, perfect proportions in hands and face. Mathematical beauty in the living and the inert. Dreams don't respect clocks. You can live decades in seconds while you sleep. During REM sleep, the brain distorts time perception. You wake up agitated, as if you've crossed into another life. Quantum physics doesn't believe in nothingness. Particles emerge from the quantum vacuum and appear and disappear. There, the universe vibrates even in absolute silence. The origin of the Big Bang, perhaps, arose from that invisible whisper. Time could be a curve, not a line. Einstein proposed that gravity can slow it down or speed it up. Near a black hole, it almost stops. And in your mind, it also stretches or shrinks depending on your emotions. What if time didn't move forward but rather built up? Some theories hold that everything happens simultaneously, as if the past, present, and future were merely an illusion. Xiaomi's CyberDog 2 simulates a real dog. Quadruped, lightweight, agile, with sensors, cameras, and even LiDAR detection. It recognizes faces and responds to voices. High-speed trains exceed 155 miles per hour. With aerodynamic design and lightweight materials, they connect cities in record time. They only operate on dedicated tracks with automated signaling systems that guarantee precise, smooth, and safe journeys. The Samoyed is a Siberian breed with a white coat, a perpetual smile, and a robust body. Its double coat protects it from extreme cold. They are sociable and active animals, needing companionship and constant grooming, energy, tenderness, and resilience in one canine package. A car replica created by Brick Scale with Lego pieces has steering, suspension, and even an electric motor. Engineering and creativity combined in thousands of blocks. It not only looks like a real car, it also works. Mechanical precision, detailed aesthetics, and real functionality with toy bricks. The automaton, a Japanese instrument with a smiley face, emits electronic sounds by sliding along its neck. When you press its mouth, it modulates the pitch as if it were singing. Versions are available in different sizes. It sounds playful, similar to a synthesizer with a life of its own. A hit among musicians and curious people. Your body is home to more bacteria than human cells. An entire microbiota lives inside you, helping to digest, protect, and regulate vital functions. You are a walking ecosystem. What you think is me is actually a community of micro-beings working together. Reincarnation proposes that you return again and again to learn. Each life is a different lesson. The soul transforms until it no longer needs to return. If this life hurts, perhaps it's the unfinished business of another. Or perhaps today you were the master. Every experience leaves its mark on your evolution. The number 108 appears in Buddhism and Hinduism as a symbol of the universe. 108 beads are used in the mala for prayers and mantras. The sun and moon have relative sizes exactly 108 times the diameter of the earth. Coincidence or hidden sacred code? Your brain generates more neural connections than visible stars in the universe. Every thought is a spark between neurons. You are an internal galaxy. What you see outside also vibrates inside. Ideas could be stars being born inside your mind. Many people dream of deceased loved ones. In those dreams, there are hugs, messages, and peace that feels real, beyond logic. Ancient cultures believed that dreams were bridges to other planes. Today, science cannot fully explain it, but no one forgets those dreams. Even though there is no air, the universe is not silent. Since the Big Bang, a cosmic vibration has resonated, background radiation, and eternal hum. It's the millennia-old echo of the birth of time and space, a thermal whisper that envelops everything. The oldest known music. Sea otters sleep holding hands so they don't drift apart. They form groups called rafts and stay close in the water. This adorable gesture serves a vital function. Even when sleeping, otters understand the value of bonding and cooperation. Cows form deep friendships. They choose favorite companions and suffer anxiety when separated. Their heart rates change, and so does their behavior. Far from being just farm animals, they feel intense emotional bonds. Friendship also exists between grasses and moose. Whales sing songs that travel thousands of miles. Their sounds are used for communication, orientation, and socialization. Each species has its own sound language. Humpback whales even modify their melodies over time and share them between groups. Rafael Briti, a Brazilian slackline expert, crossed a high line suspended between two hot air balloons at over 200 feet high. A Guinness World Record and a dizzying feat, balance, training, and extreme daring. He doesn't walk, he floats over the abyss. At the Gordo's restaurant, they serve chocolate ice cream in mini ceramic toilets. The dessert is called chocolate poo and simulates exactly that, a toilet with contents. An experience that mixes humor, controversy, and sweetness. Strange but viral, a craze that's a hit on social media. The Ashera, one of the most expensive cats in the world, combines genes from the domestic cat, the African serval, and the Asian leopard cat. Its spotted fur looks wild, but it's sociable and intelligent. It can measure more than 3 feet long and weigh up to 33 pounds. In Paris, the Escanard is an amphibious bus that travels through the city by land and along the Seine River. A tour that blends history, technology, and navigation. Inspired by military vehicles, it allows you to see the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame from a new perspective, Paris from the street and from the water. McDonald's in China launched a burger with Oreo cookies, Spam, mayonnaise, and sesame bread, a combination as unlikely as it was viral. A wheeled robot dog paraded at the World Artificial Intelligence Conference, ready to conquer impossible terrain and redefine robotic assistance. A spherical auditorium in Las Vegas held more than 18,000 people, with 16K LED screens and 4D physical effects, positioning itself as the most expensive venue in the city. This was the Blackbeard, a car designed to film chases without destroying real vehicles, chameleon-like and functional for any extreme scene. Senang in China showcased the world's largest bicycle graveyard. Millions of rusty scrap metal pieces formed a landscape that resembled post-apocalyptic art. The marshmallow experiment in the 1970s revealed that children with greater self-control were more successful academically and professionally. Pixel makeup took hold on social media, with faces that looked like they came from retro video games or walking glitches. Eindhoven, the Netherlands, created a 3D printed house in less than 120 hours, living proof that the architectural future already had foundations. In Peru, jockeys participated in a horseless race, running 328 feet on foot as part of an unusual jockey club tradition. A spaghetti-shaped ice cream appeared in Switzerland, with vanilla simulating pasta, strawberry sauce representing tomato sauce, and white chocolate shavings representing grated cheese. Magdeburg fans used colored arrows to guide their players during a match. They scored a goal but lost 2-1. Furkan Adidemir's artificial intelligence reimagined overweight superheroes, breaking down muscular stereotypes and making them more human. Milk mixed with cola triggered an unexpected reaction. Proteins clumped together, clear liquid emerged, and the flavor remained intact. Jan Davis, an engineer from Oregon, lost 4 fingers and built his own functional prosthesis with a 3D printer to resume his normal life. Ken Tornes, dubbed Norway's last Viking, challenged life with extreme jumps, impossible sports, and an unstoppable spirit. A Tesla completed a factory home trip in Austin without human intervention, showing how close we are to fully autonomous driving. An artificially intelligent drone won an international racing competition, beating the best human pilots with superhuman reflexes. Chan Minang, a 74-year-old Chinese bodybuilder, showed off an enviable physique thanks to constant exercise and healthy habits. A restaurant in Singapore served noodles suspended on floating chopsticks, creating an optical illusion that defied gravity and captivated diners. Molecular gastronomy used liquid nitrogen to generate crispy, visually spectacular desserts, science and flavor in a single bite. An artist transformed fruits like apples and pears into hyper-realistic sculptures, ephemeral art that combined nature and human creativity. Chimera cats were born with double DNA, split coats, and unequal eyes, the result of fused embryos, a genetic phenomenon as rare as it is fascinating. Balenciaga launched a bracelet resembling adhesive tape, valued at over $1,200. Fashion crossed the line between luxury and provocation. Scientists in Japan created a soft, robotic tongue that mimicked human textures, with potential medical applications and improvements in interaction with robots. The PBA Tour Playoffs, a bowling tournament that brought together the world's best bowlers, where skill, nerve, and precision defined the season's champion. The transparent salpa, a gelatinous and almost invisible marine creature, filtered phytoplankton and silently contributed to the balance of the oceans. Alberto Olmedo, a stylist from Madrid, used open flames and a blowtorch to style hair. His extreme technique surprised with its precision, texture, and unexpected results, a radical proposal that redefined what it meant to go to the hairdresser. More than 328 feet underground, The Salina Turda salt mine in Romania operated as an underground theme park. With Ferris wheels, mini-golf, and boat rides, the site offered science, health, and entertainment in a magical, salty environment. The Kuta jet allows you to dive up to 131 feet with an underwater propulsion system that reaches depths at a speed of 9.8 feet per second. A combination of adrenaline and marine exploration, it revolutionizes traditional diving with a touch of futuristic technology. In 1886, Carl Benz patented the first car with an internal combustion engine. Although rudimentary, his invention sparked the automotive revolution that shaped the modern world on four wheels. The yellow-headed parrot of South America is surprising for its talent for imitating noises like saws, alarms, and telephones. More than a colorful bird, it is a brilliant mind with an astonishing vocal ability to camouflage itself among human sounds. Frédéric Cuvier discovered the red panda in 1825, a distant cousin of the giant panda and the raccoon. It stands out for its reddish fur, its arboreal habits, and its diet of bamboo. One of the most adorable animals on the planet. Mark Kelly wore a gorilla costume into space and surprised the entire crew on the International Space Station. A comical moment that proves that even in orbit, humor floats without gravity. In China, silver iodide is fired into the sky to modify the weather at events like the Olympic Games, a technique known as cloud seeding, used to induce or prevent rain as needed. In Japan, robotic exoskeletons help the elderly and workers lift weights, walk, or move effortlessly. Wearable technology enhances human strength and improves quality of life with mechanical elegance. Royal Deluxe makes giant puppets up to 49 feet tall that parade through the streets. Mythological creatures, enormous girls, and wooden elephants transform cities into colossal fairy tale settings. In the Netherlands, there are more bicycles than inhabitants. More than 22 million bikes compared to fewer than 18 million people. Bike paths crisscross cities, countryside, and even bridges, all adapted to pedaling. Even in winter, bikes rule the car. Rimac Nevera, lightning on wheels, from 0 to 60 miles ph in just 1.7 seconds, and up to 249 miles ph in less than 18 seconds. An electric racing car that overshadows combustion engines, Croatia created a silent monster with the soul of a rocket. The E-216, an electric airplane with an eco-friendly heart, a top speed of 81 mph and a range of 22 miles. A futuristic design with a clear objective: to fly over urban traffic, a flying capsule with ambitions to be the taxi of tomorrow. Protoclone Bone, a robot with more than 1,000 synthetic muscles, a butler of the future that washes, cooks, and vacuums, a polymer skeleton and almost human-like movements, a new generation of domestic assistants, more science than fiction. Kim Kardashian turned her ID photo into a Hollywood production. Makeup, lighting, and angles for a perfect result. Criticism arose for exaggerating an official document. She responded, "Beauty doesn't ask for permission, not even on a driver's license." Lorenzo Posen creates insects so lifelike they could fly. Mosquitoes and bees made with resins, silicone, and an obsession with detail. Each antenna and wing perfectly reproduces its natural model. Entomological art with the soul of a scientific laboratory. Roller coasters are tested with mannequins and water bags. They simulate the weight and behavior of real passengers. Engineers adjust seat belts and structures without risking lives. Safe fun thanks to tests without screaming, but with precision. Atlas, the Boston Dynamics robot, dances, jumps, and does backflips. Circus-like balance, athlete strength, and human agility. A prototype designed for both disasters and shows. The robotics with the most flow on the planet. Chess has more possible combinations of games than there are atoms in the observable universe, making it a virtually infinite game. In Japan, vending machines sell everything from umbrellas and flowers to fresh eggs and hot ramen. Giraffes sleep less than 2 hours a day, spread out over several very short naps to stay alert for predators.